Welcome, wanderers. So we're back in the bus. Last time I left you, we were trying to thunder donkey the last little bit of plywood up off the floor, and it turned out that these rails right here are a little bit more of a challenge than I was anticipating. Like I said before, these bolts that go completely through to the underside are rusted, and I can't break them from underneath. So I've tried several techniques to get them out. I looked on the schoolie websites, and one guy used a hole saw, which was probably a good idea, but I've come up with this right here. This is aluminum, and aluminum is, you are able to cut aluminum with a carbide tooth skill saw blade. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting as close to that bolt as I possibly can get through the aluminum, and then I'll go in with the grinder and slice off the top of the bolt's head, and that'll pull this whole piece off, and I beat that down through. Now if you were to do, I only have about, as you can see, about 4 feet of this track to do, but I have 4 of them, but each one of them has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or so of those bolts in them, so it's kind of a time consuming and tedious process. But for some of you out there that are struggling to get these rails out with a rusty bus, that is a technique that I'm using now. Note that when you do cut through this with your skill saw, be careful not to go too deep, as you see here where I kind of went a little deep, because the floor of the bus is pretty thin. I'll just hit that up with a welder later on, but if you can keep your blade from just barely getting through the plywood, you'll have a better chance of not dinging up your floor. So I hope that helps, and good luck. Until next time, we'll see you. Welcome, wanderers. All right, here we are. Next move on the bus is what we're going to try to do is remove that heater right there, and we're going to do that by, here are the coolant lines right here. If we track those back, they go all the way back to this heater right here, and then back to the front of the bus. Now this line right here is the supply, and this line right here is the return. So what I've read about is that we can disconnect this return line right here, which goes down there and then under the bus and up to that heater. We'll disconnect this line right here. We'll disconnect this line back there, loop that back, and put it in there. And I'll have a big loop right here, but I can deal with that while we're remodeling. And I'm gonna be careful and try to take that thing out gently. That way, if when we finally do the remodel and there's space, maybe we can also put that heater in somewhere. But if not, we'll just have this little one here. So anyway, that's where we're at. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp these lines off with a couple of little pony clamps, and I'm sure it's going to be a mess because there's coolant in it right now. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned.